Hello guys and welcome back to another part of this making platformer tutorial. So last time we covered player physics, which is the player moving left and right and jumping and interacting with the ground. So this time we will be setting up the level, spikes and lava and trampolines and saws, and the ground itself will change, and so will the text appear. So let's get started. So first of all, this is to where we reached last time, and you can see the players moving perfectly, but the levels are not there. So the first thing, if I want to make a level, will be to make a variable level itself. Make sure to keep it for all sprites, because if you keep it for one sprite, then it won't work properly. Now you will set level to 1 in the beginning because you will be on level 1. So now it all depends on how many levels you want to do. But before we get further, I want to make a fix. If you can see, each time we did if touching ground or touching text. But this time I forgot to do it. So you can just switch it up. If touching ground or touching text. Because we want to make the interaction same. So now let's go to the text. So for the text, we'll have to make it appear differently each time. And here are the customs I've made of the text. The first level is nothing. Then there's this, 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 and finally this. So when we start, first of all, we will. So first of all, we'll see the name of the first custom is custom 2. I deleted the first custom. Anyways, we'll go. When I receive green flag, we'll switch custom to custom 2 because that's the starting custom. And each time we receive next level, we'll switch custom to the next one. So it will be when I receive next level, so next custom. And then we will move back to the first script. So if you have used Photoshop, you'll know what layers are. So we'll go control forever. And if you haven't used Photoshop, this is basically this. There's one thing, and on top of it is another thing, and on top of it is another thing. So each is called a layer. So if I go into this game, when I'm doing lava, lava is in front of the player, which means lava's layer is in front of the player. But the player and ground are on the same level around. So the player doesn't go into the ground. So we'll be switching the layers really better. So I usually start with going it to the front layer, making it go to the front layer, so that we can know where it is in the start. And then in this case, I'll be making it go backward 2 layers. And then I will set level to costume number. So each time its costume changes, it receives the next level, its costume changes. Then to make the level change, we will forever set the level to its costume number. So if its costume number is 1, then the level will be 1. If its costume number is 2, then the level will be level 2. And finally, we will make it go the center. But this this whole costume will be in the center, and on the top of this costume there is this text. So the text will still appear on the top, not in the center, if you get what I mean. So the code will be basically the same for ground. Let's see. When I receive green flag, it will switch its costume to the first one, which is named costume 1. It will switch costume to costume 1, and then forever it will go to front layer first. This time it will go backwards 5 layers because the ground is not the main focus. The ground is in the background. And after that, to sync all the things, like the custom of everything with the level, we will do it again. Set level to costume number. and do it again and again so that we can sync everything. Like if it's level 1, then the costume of the ground spikes lava will be costume 1. And if it's level 2, the costume will switch. And again, we have to make it go to the center. And finally, we will do when I receive next level, next costume. This is it for ground. Now it's time for the spikes. So when I receive green flag, it's basically the same. So here's what we can do. We can drag it all and put it in here. Except, yet again, we will change the number of layers it goes backward. The spikes will be behind the ground 10 layers backward. And we'll just move the second script also inside it. So here's our spikes also. Now let's add these scripts over here in the lava too. However, for the lava it will be a bit different. It will be like this. Its costume is starting with one costume. It will go uh, backward 9 layers and then instead of 10, and then we will duplicate this, add these two things here. Now this, because lava will not just stay there, it has to go up and down also. So let's go backward now. We'll control forever, repeat, repeat. So repeat it 20 times and then repeat it 20 times again. And we want to make the lava go up and down. So for up, it will be changed y by 0.5. So we'll change y by 0.5 20 times. And then we'll change y by negative 0.5 20 times again. So we made the lava a bit easier to move around if you time it right. So it will be a bit different for the trampoline, as the trampoline will have to move up and down. So we'll start when I receive green flag, go to front layer, go backward 8 layers maybe, and then you can make it high, and then make a custom block. I use this type of custom block a lot in scrolling things, but right now we are using it for non-scrolling platforms also. Go to X, add input X, and add label Y, and add input Y. There is no need to make it run without screen refresh. You can click OK, and then you come here and you say go to X and this little variable which you get over here, and Y this little variable which you get over here, and then you go over there and then you create a clone of yourself. So now we will do a drag and if then else block, and now these steps depend on where you want to place your little trampoline on it and on which level. So right now I'm doing if level is equals to 4, create a clone of the trampoline at X negative 120 and Y negative 115. If it doesn't have to, if it's another level and we don't have to create any clone for the trampoline, then we will make it high and delete all clones if it has any, because we don't want the trampoline to remain even when the level changes from 4 to 5. Now I'm only making it level 4, so I'll be doing this like this little cat. Yes, when I receive next level, and then you can just duplicate this script, but instead change it to level 3. Now, when I start as clone, because we made it create a clone, but what does it have to do when it's a clone? Like we have to make the player jump, but how will it jump? How will it detect if it's pressing the trampoline? Now we will do go to front layer, go backward 8 layers. Now it will switch costume to costume 1, and we don't want it to remain hidden. We have never programmed it to show, but we have programmed it to hide. So now it will show and forever if it's touching the player. Now this is the detection of whether the player has touched the trampoline or not. Oh, I haven't renamed the player. So I go here and rename it to player. And then it will switch costume to its first costume first in case the player recently went on the trampoline. And then it will repeat, let's drag the repeat until block, and then repeat until costume number is equals to 5. So, where is it? Yes, it will change the costume. And we'll have to do it reverse too because we don't want it to remain there. It has to go back to its normal position. So, there isn't a previous costume block. So, what we do when we have to switch a costume to a previous one, we drag a minus block into here, and then we do switch costume to costume number minus 1. So if the costume number is 8, then it will 8 minus 1 is equals to 7, and we'll switch costume to costume number 7. Now let's move on to water. Water and lava have basically the same coding, so I'll just move it into the water because they both are liquids and fluids, which the player water is safe and the player can swim in it, but the coding for the swimming will be done in the player sprite because the player will be swimming, and you die in lava, but you don't die in water. Okay, so there's just one change over here in the when I receive green flag script. Go backward 11 layers instead of 9. That's it for the water now. So now for sauce, why, no? And when I receive next level, next costume, next why, we will do the same thing we did before. Okay, so there's a bit of detailed coding for sauce, so please make sure to focus on it because it will. So I thought it would be difficult for you to understand if I did the coding and explanation together. So I did the coding already, and now you can view it. So I accidentally used a when flag click instead of when I receive green flag all the time. So bear with me. Let me just switch it. Yes. So now what we have to do is when I receive green flag, it's switch costume to costume 1. Then we go to the front left. Then we go backwards 9 left. Then forever we set side to 70% because it would be too big. Then we hide. Then we go to the front layer again. Then we go backward 9 layers again. Then we go to the center. So when I receive green flag, go to front layer, go backwards 8 layers and hide. So in these two levels, this saw will appear. So we are cloning it here and here again. And when I receive next level, we will delete the clone. And then when it starts as a clone, it will go to the front layer, go backwards 8 layers, this person will customer show. And this is what will make it. Okay, so let's move back into the player sprite and let's code it to change the level. So when I receive green flag, forever. Now, here, instead of forever, let's use a repeat until level is equals to 22. Now, what we will do, if 220 is less than x position, let me code it first. So if 220, which is around this position, you can see in this blue bar that is 220. So this is basically the next level. It's basically the edge of the screen, and when we've crossed the edge of the screen, then we will broadcast next level and wait. So finally we are changing level, and I think I made a mistake. I put another broadcast for the song. Yes, I forgot that I had already created another broadcast. So anyways, we will broadcast next level and wait, and then we will wait until, which is in the control, not 220 is less than next position. So this is, we're waiting until we have gone back to the start screen. Remember, we started from here and then we go down. So now we'll duplicate this. There. So now we'll have to add a lot of OR blocks. If Y position is less than negative 170, which means you have fallen a lot. Like if you look at this bar, it's around here, and that's beneath the ground, so it must mean you're dead. So if Y position is less than negative 170, or you're touching the lava, or you're touching the water, no, not water, if you're touching the lava, saw, or spikes, you're dead. Touching lava, or touching spikes, or touching the saw. So they all mean instant death. So now instead of broadcasting new level, next level, we will broadcast dead. And of course, this I missed it out. We'll have to put it in this. We could do it in another script, but I'm doing it here. If touching bouncy, then change y well by 20 because we have to jump. Not change, we do it set because we'll jump a lot of distance if we do that. Now we will do the dead thing. That what happens when you die. So when we receive the dead broadcast, we go back to our starting position, which, if you remember, is negative 180 and negative 50, and then we set its ghost effect to 0. Just in case, we are going to add some ghost effects, so this will happen. Now, if you're wondering what happens in the clone thing, in the clones that appear that color, let's do it this as a bonus to this video. So when I receive green flag, it will be when I receive green flag, and then we will forever create clones of ourselves. And then when we start as a clone, we will we will do it 10 times. That we will change this size by -5 so it grows smaller. And we will change ghost effect by 5. That's why we have to set ghost effect to 0. Because we are increasing the ghost effect here, so we have to decrease it. And then finally, so as not to overload Scratch with so many clones, we will delete the clone. There's just two more small scripts for this video. When I receive next level, we will go back to the starting position, and then when I receive green flag, if however I have to set its layer because layers can be a little squishy and you have to keep in mind that layers can get changed constantly, so you have to forever set the layers to what you want them to be set to. So go to front layer, go backward one layer. Now let's see what progress we have made. So if you have noticed, our spikes are not appearing, but our trampoline is working perfectly. So let's see what's causing this spikes not to appear. So here's it. Our spikes are not showing. So we just click over here and our spikes are not showing. Let's see. The same happened with our text. Um, So this is our sprite. So you're wondering why this level is so easy and why I'm trying to get the down arrow. Let me show you something that I missed out. One is this, and the second thing is yeah. Our player has actually to be set to 125. I haven't done that yet, I forgot to. So if we set our player size to 125, now he can't cross it. So we will have to add the deck arrow, down arrow, which will lead to decking. So let's do it. Okay, so where we have done run physics, we'll add a if then else block, and we have to do the same thing as we did for right arrow, left arrow, and up arrow. So let's go here. If mouse down and mouse y is less than 0, or key down arrow for arrow keepers, and key W for WSD pairs, like key S. Sorry. Then we will switch costumes. So if you look into the costume, there's this and there's this. We got. Anyways, this first. 1 and 2. So switch costume to 1 over here. Now let's see our decking mechanism. Here's decking, so let's see if we can do that to complete that level. Yes, now we can do it. It's possible. But right now we haven't incorporated swimming, so our player can't swim. So we'll have to go this way for now. And we haven't done the proper coding for the text, so it's confused as to whether or not it should go through the text or not. We'll fix that later. Right now, this is the end of part 2. Hope you liked it, and please like and subscribe, and stay ready for the next part. And tell me if there are any issues. You can post anything in the comments below. Thanks.